there, and welcome to No Nonsense Metal Reviews with me, George. And today's episode of Heavy Relics involves 3 albums, some of my latest vinyl finds that I want to show off to you all. I've listened to them all. One I'm new to, a couple I've known about or have on CD and I've listened to numerous times. But I'm very pleased to have these particular articles on vinyl. I'll kick off with an album from probably one of the only progressive rock bands that I really like. I do appreciate progressive music, don't get me wrong, prog rock, but I think a lot of the crazy out there intricacies might be a little bit lost on me. Having said that, I'm a big fan of these guys. So bright and colourful, that cover there for Vigilante. Big Magnum fan, absolutely love Magnum. Bob Catley, Tony Clarkin, just superb vocalist in Bob there, and Tony Clarkin is an absolute genius songwriter, an incredible musician. Absolutely love Magnum. I've seen them live, I think 4 times now, 3 of the times being in small settings, and it's just brilliant. It's a magical performance. This album, Vigilante, dates to 1986 on Polydor Records. Totally bizarre album cover there, really mad stuff. But what you get here is it's a rocking album. You get some really big sort of ballad moments, but Magnum are known for that, having so much power, and certainly Bob's vocals really suit that. But you get some brilliant rocking tracks as well. Not to mention, the title track, a staple in their live set list, and just a really good rocking track. You get some other brilliant tracks as well. I don't know if you can see the track list there, but kicking off the album with Lonely Night, that's a really big rock tune. Really good stuff. Need a Lot of Love. Really good stuff. It's very catchy, very easy listening. It's not hard, heavy rock, no. It's progressive rock, but there are some heavier moments. For example, I would say Holy Rider is a really good number there. Backstreet Kid, When the World Comes Down. Really good album. Really good. Not overly long, just a good rocking album. And what I think is that this really does set the scene very nicely for the big album for them, Wings of Change, which is of course the album that really boosted them up a lot. I mean, these guys didn't really make it as big as what I think they should have. When you look at their catalogue, the consistency of their material, and the number of albums as well, the fact they're always present on the road, always doing the festivals, always on tour. These guys should have been so much bigger, absolutely. But like I say, we have Wings of Change. What year was that? Let me just remind myself. Wings of Change, I do beg your pardon, Wings of Heaven. Wings of Heaven, this was 1988, so this was 2 years later, and this one was full of big tracks that have stayed in their live set as well. Days of No Trust, Wild Swan, Don't Wake the Lion. Really good album. But I think that this one here, Vigilante, is all too easily overlooked because of the successful album that followed it. But this is a great album. If you're not familiar with Magnum, this is probably not the first place to try. I would say that some of the earlier material, like Chase the Dragon or A Storyteller's Night, perhaps some of the newer albums, which are absolutely fantastic, they're probably the first places that you should try. But this is not an album to overlook. It's a brilliant, very keyboard, synth heavy album, absolutely, but the guitar work and the vocals are fantastic. Not an album to miss. Right, so that established, we're on to the second album. Now this album it's an album of 2 halves, and it's a good album from the guitar legend that is Gary Moore. We have Back on the Streets, known I should expect for that title track. It's a good album, and as I say, it's an album of two halves. Not just physically, because we have side A and side B, but the first side is really quite strong. We have Back on the Streets kicking the album off there. We have Don't Believe a Word with Phil Lynott. We have Fanatical Fascists, which is it's a punky, aggressive, rockin' track. Really good stuff. Then we have Flight of the Snow Moose. Interesting title, which is an instrumental piece. It's very, very much all over the place. It's very intricate. That's a musician's song. When we get to the second side here, side B, second half of the album, we have Hurricane, which shows signs of good heavy potential. It's not a bad track, but I'm totally lost by the time we get to Song for Donna and What Would You Rather Be or a Wasp. Parisian Walkways, the closing track there with Phil Lynott again, is a good song. It's a slow song. But those other tracks are a little bit lost on me, I must say. Side B there, I hope you can see. Side A, the stronger side. By no means a bad album, and I will not say a bad word against Gary Moore. I'm a big fan of Gary Moore, but I would say that this album, it has some really strong moments and then some that are a little bit lost on me. But a good album, released in 1978, I believe, and produced by Chris Sangarides, a big name who did a lot of work with the new wave of British heavy metal in lots of different bands and in lots of different ways. Good album. The records, both of these records, are actually in amazingly good condition. Those spines, don't know if I showed that one off on Vigilante, but very minimal wear on these. Very happy with the condition. Great nick. This is a great condition album. It's a good piece to have, and I'll no doubt listen to it further times. Maybe it'll grow on me a little bit more. But I've only listened to this album the once, taking notes. There's some strong moments and there's some that are a little bit forgettable for me. Perhaps if it was a CD, I may skip. But there we have it. Gary Moore, Back on the Streets, 1978. Certainly just for that title track, that's worth checking out. The final piece I have here, third album, I am so chuffed to have. It's one of my favourite, actually I would say it's my favourite album of theirs. It's an epic heavy metal album, absolutely superb. The mighty Twisted Sister, Dee Snider and company here, absolutely superb album. You can't stop rock and roll. No, you cannot. And this album is fantastic. It is heavy. Dee's vocals are powerful. He's just a great frontman. He's an all-round great guy. Say what you like about that hair, about the makeup, about the aesthetic. I don't care. Twisted Sister are freaking heavy. They are a fantastic heavy metal band. I had the great pleasure of seeing them at Download Festival a number of years ago, and I'd never heard of them by that point. I was quite young. They absolutely astounded me then, and I still love them to this day. I think they are just top notch. This album, I can't remember the year that this was released, 1983. For some reason I thought it was 82. 1983, it's just chock full of killer material. The Kids Are Back. Fantastic way to start the album, and it is an absolutely wonderful song. Like a Knife in the Back. Live to Ride. Ride to Live, Live to Ride. Huge, uplifting, really just fist-raising, head-banging tunes there. I Am, I'm Me, The Power and the Glory. Just, words cannot describe how great this album is. Right through to the second half, you've got plenty of tracks that appeared in their live set and on their live albums. We're Gonna Make It, I've Had Enough, and then we've got that closing title track there, You Can't Stop Rock and Roll. There's the track list down the bottom there. Absolutely superb. Superb band, superb album. This is in wonderful condition. very minimal bit of wear here and there, but not really anything that I'm particularly worried about. Superb album, and I am so pleased to have a vinyl copy. I have a copy on CD. Trying to get their catalogue on CD is quite difficult. The only ones that I've managed to get hold of so far are You Can't Stop Rock and Roll and the mighty Stay Hungry. Fantastic albums. I've also managed to acquire a copy of Love is for Suckers, which I'm yet to listen to before I review. But there you have it. Heavy Relics. We've got some brilliant stuff, in my opinion, that I paid very, very little for, that I am chuffed to bits with. Gary there. You gotta love Gary. And Magnum. Superb stuff. Thank you for watching. What do you think of these albums? Let me know your opinion. I'm interested to hear. Do you have a copy? Do you like these albums? Any thoughts there? Hope you liked the video. Feel free to like and subscribe as always. It's very much appreciated. Take care, my friends. Check back soon for more reviews and more words of all things good and heavy. Take care. Stay heavy.